My God, I almost started ranting. I was in deep thought, and very quickly I realized I should say nothing. I feel bad for my last rant. Presidents aren't in control. Unfortunately, neither are the people, and not even big corporations. All we can do is talk, voice our opinion, have a civil debate. That's all. That's what we're really able to do. And slowly, things change. If we don't buy item A, they'll be forced to make item B. Ultimately, you vote with your dollar and your actions. There I go again. Anyway, this week, we're going to have a look at something shared by I Am Kairos channel. Check it out. And I haven't even looked at it. This is going to be a fresh look for me and perhaps you. So thanks for being here this week. I love you all. God bless and welcome. Sometimes I'm reluctant to record. All of us, I guess. Going to work. It is good to have work. And I do all kinds of other work. Today I built cabinets and I stacked my firewood. But I don't know. I felt like those things I can't really screw up. I mean, I can with the cabinets, maybe. Yeah, most definitely. But then I can fix it. These videos, you have a short window and then you let it go. Like a bird. Or a cricket. My crickets are black. But anyway, I am Kairos. Shared this in a community post the other day, and I emailed it to myself like I usually do. Oh, and by the way, I've lost my access to Jon Levi channel at gmail.com. I've requested everything that can be requested with no luck. This has been about a year now. But anyway, I am Kairos, and I emailed this to myself, and today I remembered, and I thought I would share it. I will leave the link below to both this and his channel. I also just want to say that inner peace and perhaps learning how to cultivate it is the most important. What else did you come here to do? Fight? And if you must fight, fight like the samurai, without emotion, totally detached, like doing dishes or stacking wood. God, I don't know. Maybe it's the astrology. I'm so damn ranty. So here we go. The official guide to the Panama Pacific International Exposition, San Francisco, 1915. You have to remember they just barely had a giant earthquake and giant fire, we're told, wiping out the city. I mean, look at the pictures. What the hell? You have bigger problems. You have other things to build. This is not fair time. But anyway, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. 1915 fair. Look how sometimes they call it a World's Fair, and here International Exposition. Really complicating the history for the future. I mean, there were so many of these going on with weird titles, and essentially the same thing is taking place. And what is that? Most of you veterans will know, but if you're new, what is that? Let's just have a little look with eyes untainted. Let's look at this journal together. Innocent, as if it was our first time. Oh, look at this. So here we go. First time. The Walgreen Company Publishers. I don't know if it's the same as the pharmacy. Spelled different. But here we go. Again, fresh eyes. Like I don't know anything. Unfortunately, people that know nothing see nothing. Most people would have scrolled past this already. This is just the first page. But what in the hell is this? What was the title again? The International Exposition, 1915. This doesn't look like an exposition. What is an exposition? There's a baseball team in Canada called the Expos. Expose, a showcase. Anyway, let's move on. A cordial welcome awaits you. Westinghouse Electric exhibits. The Palace of Transportation, the Palace of Machinery, the Mine, Palace of Mines and Metallurgy. What is this? I mean, I know what Westinghouse is. It's an electrical company. Here we go. Here's their stamp. So they're funding this? I don't know. Second page. And just how odd. I mean, what does this have to do with machinery and the production of of electricity. This palace, everything must be the palace. Again, I'm being naive, or trying to be. The palace, all these palaces. How strange. At this expo. And now we have electricity. Bunch of electric palaces and mines. Westinghouse electric products are to be found throughout the expo grounds. In the exhibit palaces, nation buildings, state buildings, and the zone. So these products are to be found in all these different buildings. Again, because I know there were over 200 buildings looking like this. We'll see some in a minute, I'm sure. Westinghouse Electric achievements have made large expositions possible. So again, a pat on the back or patting their own backs. Its devices generate electric energy, transmit energy long distances to you, haul trains, operate the streetcars in which you ride. You see how advanced things were even in 1915. Light your city, convey minerals from vein to surface, drive machinery in every kind of factory. This is like some indoctrination. Patting themselves on the back and boasting. Bring assistance and comfort to your home. Start and light your motor car. Drive your electric pleasure vehicle. Wow, we lost that. I mean, for like 100 years. And do a multitude of other things. So here we go. Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Sales offices in 45 American cities. I love the rubber stamp. So, okay, see our exhibits. Scary advertisement for spark plugs. Magnetos. Established in 1858 out of New Jersey. And the Apple Electric Company. How old is Apple? Another advertisement. Remington typewriters out of New York and everywhere. And here we go. San Francisco in 1950. So here they're telling us San Francisco within the last 10 years has been erected anew. So they're telling us this old 1915 San Francisco is all brand new, has been erected anew. Let me flash a picture of this downtown post-fire, and then in 10 years totally rebuilt, ready for this fair. Really? I've questioned whether the fire photos are actually legit or just doctored or models. We even looked at some old film of a model of San Francisco burning. And here, I guess, another kind of advertisement. Why the hell not? Odysee Elevator. This development has been aided by Odysee Elevators. And again, you have skyscrapers all over before the elevator. And we discussed the ability to build a building in less than 5 years. Here they're building or rebuilding the entire city in 10. Their story. So this was kind of an advertisement for the Odysee Elevator Company. Offices in all cities of the world. You see at the beginning it was so easy. Pure inheriting of everything. Oops, I was supposed to be innocent and naive. Again, an advertisement. Traveler's checks in the Palace of Mines near the west entrance. Travel money. So there we go. Someone just has a little booth in the Palace of Mines. Maybe a discounted booth near the main west entrance. So here we go. Traveler's checks. Look at this building with this pyramid on top and smoke coming out of it. I digress. The hotel. I actually have a World's Fair book and it's very similar to this. It's all advertisements and I've never talked about it before. It was a little later. It was like 1920s or 30s World's Fair and it was really smutty. I actually did hesitate and never shared it. But it turns out to be very unsavory, like a Las Vegas thing. Sin. And I don't think such acts are sinful, but our culture does. We are far from the Garden of Eden. So anyway, here we go. This massive building. Look at this baby. Tariff, $2 and upwards for a single room. $5 for a luxurious suite. Management of Mary and Boomer. Ah, Marion Boomer, finest, like the Ritz. Here we have a water temple. We've looked at this water temple in the past, in real photos. And there's actually like a water tunnel, like a river flows into it and then shoots down an underground tunnel, and children would shoot down it. It would spit them out downstream. So here we can also see the president, Woodrow Wilson, President of the U.S., and Colonel Geo Goathull, Governor of the Panama Canal Zone. And here we have C.C. Moore, President of the Panama Pacific International Expo. So here is the mastermind, C.C. Moore. Perhaps it's worth a deeper dive into this man. 25 cents to visit the expo, up to $1. Millions of people, so several $1 million. For those of you who have read my book with David, you'll recall that this is not making enough money to pay for the expenses that it would take to create this fair, to build all the buildings, to run the plumbing, electric, and everything else that would be required. We broke it down. It's a wordy chapter, breaking down what it would take to really build this fair, where these people just gloss over all the details. So here, the Feather River Route, Western Pacific, the distinctive San Francisco Railroad line, this will be. And maybe this is the beginning. September edition, the official guide. Okay, so here we go. But here we have the fair. Wedding cake buildings, domes, spires, fully landscaped, full concrete sidewalks. And again, for the innocent, what the hell is this? First of all, everything seemed boring. What appealed to us up to now? As a community that appreciates architecture, we really love what we see. The gardens are splendid. But what is this really? I mean, this started out as some Westinghouse electric publication. And okay, let's just say we paid our $1 to get in, right? I mean, what are you gonna do? Okay, maybe you want to go poke around in these buildings. First of all, it's a really far walk from just one of these buildings to the other, and there's 200 of them. They're scattering their exhibits all over. But here we go. This is just a fair, an expo. Here is your expo. Does this make any sense? Again, I've said it in the past, but today they erect giant tents, or they have convention centers. Just giant area, like the size of a football stadium or something. But this? Does this make any sense? Why not just build one big building if you're having an expo? Anyways, really interesting. Just giving you very detailed instructions on the principal function of the official guide is to direct rather than to describe how to reach the expo grounds. Look at all of this. Super detailed page on how to even walk around. Like I said, it's so huge, 200 buildings. You're just lost. You're gonna need a map. Already I'm out. I mean, if I'd been an innocent fairgoer. Here we can see the Fountain of Energy. Fountain of Energy? This doesn't look like any Westinghouse product. This doesn't look like a fair. This looks like Cinderella land. I don't know. And it certainly looks old world. Let's just cut to it. I mean, this doesn't seem like anything new that was built to be a Westinghouse fair. Does this look like anything related to power plants? Not that I've seen. However, this is kind of our clue. Why did they make this fair and display all these electrical things here? And in all parts of the world, in all world's fairs. Why did they all look like this? Just over the top. I was just thinking about this the other day, thinking about the World's Fair of Paris and how the Eiffel Tower is dead smack in the middle of it. And I was driving by an oil rig near my house. It was lit up and it looked like the Eiffel Tower at night. And I thought, God, this is just an old rig. And many of the oil well locations will recycle their gas, producing power on site. So you're drilling for oil, you're getting gases, which powers generators. You essentially have a factory on site, one well. And I think we're seeing giant abandoned facilities. And in this case, Westinghouse is the inheritor. And that other guy we saw up in the corner of the visitor's guide here. So, general description of the Expo. So in early 1906, San Francisco claimed the next international Expo. It's kind of like how cities fight to get the Olympics. Here they fought and won to get the Expo. 1906, shortly after the fire? Yes. Bunch of taxpayers' money, preparation for the grounds. Here, $300,000 just to work the grounds, filling sand from the bay into some of the low places. Just a bad idea from the get-go. The dredging was complete at the end of 1912. $50 million investment. Total loss, you saw, $1 a ticket. So much talk of the finished product. Exhibit palaces, 220 acres. In total, 600 acres. 600 acres is huge. Aviation field and racetrack, livestock section. So you can see that this is an old industrial sector. Otherwise, why would you have a livestock section of 30 acres for a fair? I mean, all of this is just way over the top. Here they're talking about the architects, these men, Willis Polk, Mr. Ward, Mr. Faville, and here are the architects and the buildings that they're given credit for. Tower of Jewels, Palace of Machinery. So all different architects, yet all having this unified old world feel. And this is the kicker. They tell us that the materials used simulates the Travertine marble of which many of the structures of ancient Rome were built. So you see what's going on here. Why does it look like ancient Rome? Oh, it's just temporary, as they call it, plaster or staff. The material has never before been used in this form. So that's it. This is like a first. The material consists of a fiber and a gypsum product mined in Nevada. Coloring, which is similar to old ivory, is supplied by special formula. All the buildings, except the frames of the Tower of Jewels and the Palace of Fine Arts, and the Palace of Horticulture dome, are of wood. More than 70 million feet of lumber having been used in their erection. The other three structures that they mentioned above, Tower of Jewels, Palace of Fine Arts, and Palace of Horticulture, are made of steel. There we go. Which is really interesting because we can see old film again, photos and film of the Palace of Fine Arts. And it looks like we see wood under it. And here they're telling us that the Palace of Fine Arts was made of steel. They also tell us that they demolished the Palace of Fine Arts to make it permanent. But here, in 1915, they're telling us it was made of steel. Ding! It was always permanent, and it was never demolished and rebuilt as they're trying to tell us. So this was really fascinating. Here we can see a list of the sculptures, just the sculptures, and the buildings that they correlate to. A lot of sculptures, many of them still there, of course, around the Palace of Fine Art, and they are also not made of plaster or gypsum, as they told us above. So I think we can really catch them in their deception when it comes to researching these World's Fairs, especially this one, so recent, 1915, San Francisco. Here we can see the south portal of the Palace of Liberal Arts. Giant entrance, doors, and towers. Does this look temporary to you? Does this look like a fair or anything that an electrical company would build? Or anyone in 1915? We have to be realistic here. The mature trees, the aged buildings, the oversized buildings, and so beautiful. 1,000,000 square feet, 1,000,000 square foot buildings at a minimum. And today, if we build a 1,000,000 square foot building, it looks like a Walmart. What are these? What world, what country builds like this? We certainly don't today. And did we have the ability in such a short time frame, disposable or not? So let me know your thoughts. But as always, I don't know. I may not know what is, but I certainly know what isn't. I thank you for joining me this week. Let me know your thoughts below on anything. I love you all. God bless, and I'll see you next week.